Chapter 33, Ravi. Dylan Samri is standing near the door when I arrive at room 506. I ignore him and his crooked Shakti Kapoor teeth and take my seat. Place your personal reflection object on your desk and bring your explanation cards up here and put them into this basket, Mrs. Beam tells us. Before I can unwrap my packet, I first need to wipe off my glasses, which have become clouded up from this weather. Amma gets upset with me if I use anything other than the special wiping cloth Dr. Batra gave me to clean my glasses, so I open my backpack and pull out the cloth. Just as I'm about to remove my glasses, Dylan Samreen reaches around me and snatches something off Bigfoot's desk. He pops it into his mouth and quickly sits back down, but not before I've seen what it is he's taken. Chapter 34, Joe. It's my own fault. I should have known better than to leave anything out on my desk when there's a known kleptomaniac sitting 2 feet away. So much for impressing Mrs. Beam with my great idea. All I have left is an empty dish, which is exactly what I feel like at the moment. Ravi has left his package sitting unopened on his desk while he takes his card up and puts it in the basket. Lucky for him, Dylan is too busy unpacking his own box to notice. Mrs. Beam starts talking to Ravi about the Indian cookies his mom had made for her, but I get distracted when I see what Dylan Samreen has brought. It's a big plastic yellow star with a picture of, what else? Dylan's face glued into the center. Perfect. I watch as he rips open a package of AA batteries and loads a bunch of them into the back of the star. When he's finished, he sets it on his desk, pushes the on button, and the whole thing lights up and starts playing Ghetto Superstar. Lucy Mulligan and her little girlfriends come running over. Pretty soon, they're all dancing around Dylan while he sings along to the music. Ghetto Superstar, that is what you are, coming from afar, reaching for the stars. His singing's bad, but the girls don't care. I notice his boxers are decorated with yellow stars, and the top 3 buttons of his shirt are undone. Gross. I'm not sure, but I think he might have glitter on his chest. Take your seats, please, boys and girls, and we'll get started, Mrs. Beam tells us. I am in big, big trouble. Chapter 35, Ravi. Ravi, Mrs. Beam says as I drop my card into the basket. My heart is pounding. Have I done something wrong? Amma has offered to write my explanation on the card in her neat handwriting, but I had insisted on doing it myself. Can Mrs. Beam not read what I've written? After talking with Paripa last night, I had been so sure that this assignment would be a proud moment, not just for me, but for my whole family. Now all my other failures come flooding back like a giant wave. My accent, my math, my English, my manners. It's nice to see you, said Mrs. Beam. We missed you yesterday. You did? I ask. Don't sound so surprised, she laughs. I wanted to tell you how much I enjoyed the cookies your mother made. There's a spice in them I'm not familiar with. Do you know what it is? I'm sorry, I say softly, bending my head down again. It's cumin. Don't apologize, she says. The cookies were delicious. It was all I could do to keep myself from eating the entire box. I was wondering, do you think your mother would be willing to share the recipe for the, what are they called again? Non-katais, I say. Non-katais, she says so slowly. Her pronunciation is perfect. I think about what Miss Frost had told me about stepping on toes and how assumptions are often wrong. Mrs. Beam, I say softly, my voice quivering a little. My name is not Ravi. It's pronounced Ravi. She looks at me and smiles. I never noticed before, but her eyes are the color of pistachios. I'm glad you told me, Ravi. Was that better? She asks. I nod my head and smile back at her. It means the sun, I say. As I walk back to my seat, my heart feels lighter. It seems things are finally looking up for me in America, but my gratitude is interrupted when I see Bigfoot sitting at his desk, staring into the empty bowl in front of him. He looks so sad, and I'm not selfish enough that I have forgotten about the insulting cartoon or what I saw Dylan Samreen take from the little glass dish on Bigfoot's desk. This is my chance to redeem myself for the unkind way I treated Ramaswamy at Vidya Mandir, and for all the toes I've stepped on at Albert Einstein Elementary School as well. My chance to set things right. I reach into my desk and feel around with my fingers until I find what I'm looking for. Then I put it in my pencil box for safekeeping until the moment is right. Chapter 36, Joe. We're going to play a little guessing game, Mrs. Beam explains. The goal is to match up the objects sitting on the desk with the sentences in the basket. Great. I have only been at school for 15 minutes and my day is already in the toilet. I look at the empty dish. No one's going to be able to match it with the sentence I wrote, not in a million years. Ravi is busy unwrapping his package. I'm curious to see what's inside, so I lean to my left so I can watch him. The brown paper is held on with about 1 million pieces of Scotch tape. When he finally gets it off, there's another layer of newspaper underneath, and under that, a layer of tinfoil and a lot more Scotch tape. Before we start, Mrs. Beam tells us, I'd like you all to quietly make your way around the room, familiarizing yourself with the objects on each of the desks. I'll give you a few minutes to do that, and then we'll begin our game. Miss Frost always says that the best place to start is at the beginning, so I go over to the first desk in the first row. Amy Yamaguchi brought a teddy bear, or at least I think that's what it is. It's a little hard to tell because it's gray and it doesn't have any stuffing left in it. Not only that, the face is completely worn off. Whatever it is, it's ancient and probably doesn't smell too good up close. Some of the other girls brought in stuffed animals too, or girly junk like charm bracelets and flavored chapstick. A lot of the boys picked video games or sports stuff, including Tim O'Toole, whose personal reflection object is his own front tooth. Everybody knows the story. He knocked out his tooth last winter sliding into a goalpost during a hockey game. Even though there was blood gushing out of his mouth, he still managed to score the winning goal, which is how his picture ended up in the front page of the Hamilton Herald with a caption under it that said, "Plucky local kid just won't quit." I'm about to start walking down the next row of desks when I hear Lucy Mulligan scream. Mrs. Beam goes running over to see what's wrong, and pretty soon there's a big crowd of kids standing around Ravi's desk. This is one of those times when being taller than everybody else comes in handy because I can see right over their heads. Ravi has finally finished unwrapping his package. Sitting on the desk in a glass jar filled with cruddy-looking water, and swimming around in that cruddy-looking water are 3 long, slimy, black